Hi everybody, I am Ace of the Sky. This will be a video where I will talk about my favorite shooter franchise of all time. So let me get started. If you are a Sony fan like I am, you may have heard of a third-person shooter slash stealth title by the name of Syphon Filter. For any of you who has not heard of or played this game, let me give you some history of it. In 1997, a subsidiary of Sony Computer Entertainment by the name of 989 Studios, which is now defunct, wanted Eidetic, which is now called Sony Bend or Bend Studio, to develop a new IP for them titled Syphon Filter. According to Richard Ham, the lead designer of Syphon Filters 1 and 2, the game was supposed to be a sci-fi game set in a post-apocalyptic world where most of humanity has been destroyed. Among the remaining humans are a few who can filter energy from the earth. These energies were known as siphons. The people who captured the energy were able to filter the energy and use it to rebuild mankind, hence the name Syphon Filter. But Richard had another idea. He wanted the game to be set in the real world, in the then present. He was inspired by games at the time such as GoldenEye and Tomb Raider. So he used these two games to create a third-person shooter. Also, one of the developers was into the TV series The X-Files, which was popular at the time. So instead of the game being sci-fi and fantasy-like it was going to be, it was now about a secret agent named Gabriel Logan, or for short, Gabe Logan, who works for a fictional U.S. government agency simply named The Agency. The agency and terrorists from all over the world are after a virus which is named Syphon Filter, which is genetically programmable to target specific ethnic groups and wipe out whole continents except for those who are immune to the virus. The agency and terrorists both want to use the virus for their own agendas. So, Gabe Logan is actually working for an agency that wants to kill particular groups of people or countries, and at first he doesn't even know it. He is going on these missions that are given to him by the agency to kill terrorists, but the agency itself is also using Syphon Filter for their own agenda. So that's Syphon Filter in a nutshell. The first Syphon Filter was released in 1999 for the PlayStation 1, and it did well. It got a lot of great reviews, and was even compared to Metal Gear Solid, a game that came out a year before. After the first Syphon Filter game, Eidetic and 989 Studios then worked on a sequel named Syphon Filter 2. After that came 4 more sequels. The first 3 games were on the PS1, then the fourth one, Syphon Filter The Omega Strain, was created for the PS2, and the last 2, Syphon Filters Dark Mirror and Logan's Shadow, were released for the PSP and later ported to the PS2. The first 4 Syphon Filter games focus on the Syphon Filter virus, while Dark Mirror focused on a new virus similar to Syphon Filter named Dark Mirror, and Logan's Shadow strayed from the virus storyline and focused on Gabe settling a score with a Syrian terrorist and finding his friend and partner Leon Zing, who worked with him ever since the first Syphon Filter. However, at the end of Logan's Shadow, by the way, spoiler alert, Gabe is shot 4 times in the chest by a woman named Trinidad, who also used to be Leon's partner, after heading home from killing Bitar, the Syrian terrorist. So, the last game in the series ended on a cliffhanger, and we do not know whether Gabe is dead or still alive. After that, Sony Bend, which is what Eidetic is called now, has not made a Syphon Filter game since. So, it has been 11 years since the last Syphon Filter game. However, Sony Bend is working on a new IP named Days Gone, which is an open-world survival horror game with zombies. I saw the footage of that game, and to me it looks amazing. But what would be even more amazing is for them to make a sequel to Logan Shadow. And I have a great idea for a sequel. Say Logan survives the gunshots, but he decides to not fight anymore. Instead, Leon Zing will be the main protagonist, and Gabe will be the one commanding her in her missions. And also, they can add a lot of new characters into the sequel and return to a storyline about a virus attacking mankind. Trust me, it will be an awesome comeback to the franchise. If you can't do that, then at least make a new IP similar to the Syphon Filter franchise. You know, make another third-person shooter series that deals with a secret agent and a corrupt agency, and see what amazing story you can make out of that. Sony Bend. The Syphon Filter series is my favorite shooter series of all time, next to Fear and the 007 games. You all did a great job with the series, but the sixth and last game ended on a cliffhanger. It was a great game, but when will you solve the cliffhanger and make one last game for the PS4? That's all I'm asking for. All I'm asking for is one last Syphon Filter game. If you don't want to do that, then fine. But make a spiritual successor to the game, something that's similar to Syphon Filter. So please, Sony Bend, just give the Syphon Filter fans something. I know you're hard at work on Days Gone, but when you're done with that, please give us what we really want. Your franchise is enjoyed by millions of people who play video games, and you should bring it back, or make something similar. This series is a classic in my library of games. Also, people are saying that the first three Syphon Filters should be remade with next-gen graphics. I agree with that, but I'm more focused on something new. I do not know if Sony Bend will see this video, but if they do, please respond to me. I would love to talk with you guys. Maybe one day I will do a Skype call with Richard Ham, who again was the lead designer for Syphon Filters 1 and 2, or another person who developed the games, and talk with them. Anyways, that is all. I'm Ace of the Sky, signing off. Have a nice day.